Anyway, so let me give you a tour here, and since it's just you and I, just interrupt me and ask questions as we move along. Basically, the first thing you see when you get in to Blueprint is the scheduling module. It looks like a lot of other calendar systems. A few differences. Quick overview. There's different views, 1 day views, and so on. 5, 7 day views. Navigation button, forward, backwards, refresh buttons in the user scenarios. Home button takes you back to today. New appointment, find an appointment, print my schedule. And over here is where you have a drop down, so that you can select what clinic location you're looking at. So we can manage multiple offices. So two different options in terms of color coding. One option is for color coding by appointment type. And then we just go to a different week where we have a little bit more data here. Color coding by provider, as we call it. So Linda and Steve. Steve dark blue. Also, Steve is on the right column at all times. Linda is on the left. You do have an option for color coding based on appointment type. Okay. And these are just my sample appointment types. And obviously, this is one of the things together with the providers that we configure for each clinic. They can pick whatever colors they want. They can pick default duration for different appointment types. So, okay. To make an appointment, you simply just click at the date and time, or you can click on this icon up here. I prefer just to click on the appointment. And that opens up a patient selection list like this, and you can just start typing patient last name. So if I'm looking for Forrest Crump, I can just start typing that, and it jumps right out there. That opens up the appointment detail window. This patient has already been assigned to Weatherfield office and to Linda, so that's why that comes up. And my appointments, my new appointments, always the default to hearing test. And obviously, you can change it to something different. Mm-hmm. You can put in notes that are specific to the appointment, and this is where there's a little bit of a philosophical difference between us and Cycle, because Cycle has a tendency to tie everything to an appointment. Yeah. So outcome notes goes on an appointment, and order is attached to an appointment. We don't really operate like that. Appointments are separate from some of those type of events and transactions. So this is simply just notes. So this could be, why is the patient coming in? It's a complaint, referral source, anything like that is important to know about. So this could be needs adjustment on left hearing aid, something like that. Okay. Here, obviously, you can manipulate year, month, date, time. If you need less time, more time, you can just move the slider. There's some functions here for setting up repeat appointments. And down here, resources. So in addition to managing people and locations, we can also manage resources. So in my scenario, for instance, I have 2 providers, but only 1 sound booth. So obviously, I want to prevent a double booking of that sound booth. Yeah. So, well, this is for a fitting, so I'm going to book my fitting room. In the U.S., I would say that probably 98% of all clinics call and confirm appointment. I think it's very common in the U.K. as well to call and confirm appointment. So you can set the status to tentative, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So that's pretty much it. If you need to change the time of the appointment, you can also just drag it.
Oh, right, okay.
So part of the graphical user interface. All right, so here's my appointment. As soon as I hover over it, you see down here what it's for. Okay. Triangle indicates not been confirmed. You can see patient name, phone number, my note, who's with, and the resource that has been allocated. All right. So You have a filter over here on the left. So if you only want to see appointments that have not been confirmed, you can just filter on those. And obviously the idea is to be able to use this as a call list for who you need to call and confirm.
Sure.
So, and then again, the idea is that you hover over it, you have the phone number, and then once you talk to the patient and confirm, you can just right-click. And if you're familiar with a cycle, and I say right-click, you go, what is right-click? Because obviously they run inside a web browser,
yes.
So a right-click would trigger the browser functions, not cycle-specific functions.
Sure.
But we use Java, and we use there's a client that sits on my end here that talks to the data center. Which means that I'm running a real application on my PC.
Okay.
And basically, I'm only sending data back and forth. I'm not sending screen images or anything like that.
Okay.
And which also means that I can have standard Windows behavior with right click and give relevant options. So in this case, I could delete the appointment, open up the details of what I want to do in this case. I want to just confirm the appointment. In which case it appears because I'm filtering alternatives. And if I bring them all back and hover over it again, it will have a green check mark. So,
okay.
So it's been confirmed. If I need to reschedule somebody, I can do that on the screen. So say Scott can make it on this date, I can just drag them over to a different time.
Okay, yeah. That's simple.
So that's kind of some of the user interface that we have. All right.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, everything's pretty straightforward so far.
Okay. There's a patient browser up here top left. This is there's a quick find here. That's quick find based on last name. There's some other search methods over here on the right for things like phone number and health card number, serial number, name, invoice number, things like that.
Yeah.
But if I'm just looking for a patient over here, and again, we could look for Ellingson. We start typing and it jumps right down. Once you have a patient highlighted, you see their address and phone number over on the top right. So I'm just going to open up this patient, and you can open more than one patient at any given time.
Oh, right, okay.
And you can jump back and forth between it. So this is a patient file. You notice over here on the right, we got a number of different tabs where we have different subset of data for this patient stored. And we're on the first one, which is basically name, date of birth, status of the patient, family doctor, what provider we have assigned it to, address, what clinic we are seeing the patient in, an email and phone number. There's a second tab up here on the top left where you can put in alternate contact, which could be a secondary address, or it could be a caregiver, in which case you can specify what is the relationship to the patient. And is this, in fact, our primary contact?
Okay.
In case it's a kid, a child.
Okay. Has any of this been customized or changed for the UK version, or is the UK version?
Yeah. I'm in my US demo system, but this has county and it doesn't say state, and it did say postal, and it so that's that, and that fits the format. The same thing with the phone numbers.
Sure.
Fits the UK format.
Okay.
And we also have a Irish version of this.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't believe it's exactly the same in Ireland.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. So on the second tab, that's the patient hearing aid tab. This is where we will have information about the hearing aids that has been sold or assigned to the patient. And as you can see, we got 3 hearing aids on this page. Not exactly typical, but that's because we keep selling hearing aids to the patients over again. So in this case, what you see here, you see a left-right indicator, make model, style, battery, serial number, warranty, loss and damage, warranty, color, any notes, typically for receiver types, dome sizes, those type of things.
Okay.
And then the current status. When you highlight a hearing aid, it will show the transaction history down in this area.
Okay.
There's also a second tab up here on top left. So if you have other ALDs or accessories that have serial numbers or warranty information associated with them, you can have that log listed here, right? The third tab has to do with the audiology or the profile of the patient's hearing loss. So we can specify the severity, mild, moderate, and so on.
Yeah.
The type of hearing loss and the shape of the hearing loss. And part of what this is intended for also is for marketing purposes, to be able to target patient-specific hearing loss.
Okay.
They do have an option for entering audiograms, and we do offer an option for integrating with NOAA, so that this audiogram data can be pulled from NOAA automatically.
Okay. Okay.
All right. You can make multiple entries into this screen. So you can see here I got 2 different test dates where we tested this patient.
Okay.
And this date is also what we're using for recall purposes of the patient. So if the objective is to test the patient once a year, we can use this for recall purpose. Okay. And we'll take a look at that in a little bit.
On the NOAA integration, does it just push and pull the audiometric data, or does it push the patient data as well? Name, address?
The typical workflow is that you create the patient in Blueprint, and then you can push that patient over into NOAA. Then you go do your testing in NOAA, generate an audiogram, and then you can push the audiogram back to Blueprint. So that's how it works. And on that, because we also offer integration with QuickBooks, so it works the same thing with QuickBooks. That when you create a patient Blueprint, it automatically creates that patient in QuickBooks as a customer.
Got you.
And it does the same thing when you create sales transactions. I'll show you how that actually works. So, because that's actually pretty neat how that's been done.
Okay.
There's a journal tab. This is where you see a journal entry list that has major events, so like past and future appointments. All appointments entries have this little icon. But this is also where the audiologists can enter their own notes, so outcome notes. So if they did an audiological assessment, they can just go in and type out all their findings.
Yeah.
Okay. So click save on that, and then that drops in right here.
Okay.
There's a tab for insurance company that typically doesn't really apply to the UK. And then there's a marketing tab. There's basically 3 different areas in here. The first one up here, referral type and source, that has to do with where did this patient come from, or how did this patient find us. And you kind of got 2 levels here. So you've got a first level, which is kind of main category. So for instance, if it was a family physician, you can specify what physician it was.
Okay.
If it was advertising, you can actually specify what ad in what newspaper on what date generated this patient.
Okay.